What's going on? Welcome back to yet another episode of the Normal Baseball Podcast. The NLCS is finally set up with the Phillies and Padres pulling off upsets. The Astros swept the Mariners, and the Yankees and Guardians are headed to a Game 5. Let's get into it. Welcome back. What's going on? Welcome back. Okay, I said welcome back twice. Don't know why. To a Normal Baseball Podcast. I'm Alex, Normal Dog. That's Lewis. And we are all set for we're not all set. We're mostly set.
We're 99%
for
set.
the championship series. The division series have come and gone. Only one Game 5. Only one Game 5.
One more round of 27 outs each. That's what the that series has come down to. But let's get through everything. Where do you start?
So let's start with what's going on right now. I mean, Yankees-Guardians are headed to a Game 5 in the Bronx. Move a little closer here. In the Bronx. Exciting.
Oh, certainly.
Game 4 just concluded. The Yankees pulled off the win, fortitude. So now both teams have one win in the other team's stadium, and they're headed back to New York tonight.
Oh yeah.
To play tomorrow in the biggest game of the season, win or go home for both teams. Yankees, neither team has a starter yet fully announced, which is
concerning.
Interesting. I wouldn't say concerning. I'd say it's more just interesting.
It definitely is interesting.
It's tough because all these guys going on short rest. I mean, only 3 people have started for the Guardians this entire postseason, and they've played in 6 games so far.
Yeah.
And 3 pitchers have pitched in all 6 of those games.
It has been 6.
Yeah. Exciting. So, if we want to, we recapped Game 1 in the last episode. It looks like the pitching matchup for Game 5 is going to be Savale and Tyone as of right now. So, but we recapped Game 1 in the last episode, so shall we go with Game 2?
Let's do it.
Game 2 of the Guardians and the Yankees. It was Shane Bieber against Nestor Cortez Jr., the stash, nasty Nestor. Bottom of the first, the Yankees come out hot. Giancarlo Stanton, 2-run bomb. To give the Yankees a 2-0 lead off Shane Bieber. Things are looking bad for the Guardians after losing Game 1. Come right out of the gate, Game 2. Mm-hmm. And Giancarlo Stanton kills you. Sure. Not to mention, right after a rainout.
Yeah, the day before.
Yeah. But that happens. 2-0 Yankees. Go to the top of the 4th. Nestor Cortez gets into a little trouble, as he did for most of this game, it seemed like, and Andres Jimenez slapped a single into right field to score a run, so make the lead just 1 run for the Yankees. It's 2-1. In the top of the 5th, off Nestor Cortez, Ahmed Rosario with a bomb home run into the Yankee bullpen. It's 2-2 at this point. And from there, we went scoreless until the 10th inning, when Jose Ramirez caused chaos. A blooper into shallow left field drops down. Ramirez gets to second because he's hustling, because that's what Jose Ramirez does.
That's what the Guardians do.
That's what the Guardians do. They hustle.
A lot.
And he makes it to third on a bad throw. And Oscar Gonzalez, another bloop single into right field, scores J-Ram. Guardians take a 3-2 lead. Josh Naylor would then double to deep center field to make it 4-2, and Emmanuel Clase got the 8-out save.
Impressive.
9-out save. No, I take that back. 7-out save.
There you go.
To give the Guardians a 4-2 win in Game 2.
Yeah.
What a game. The offenses kind of went quiet for a little bit. Rather, the Yankee offense went quiet.
Yeah, the
Very
Guardians
concerning.
had their opportunities. The Yankee offense, after that first inning, I don't think that they could have bought a hit, and that says something, as arguably the most expensive franchise in the sport. They could not even buy a hit. But the Guardians, they did their thing, which was interesting, the whole game. And then Ahmed Rosario with the very uncharacteristic home run off of Nestor, which was a surprise.
Uncharacteristic for who? Ahmed Rosario?
Just for the Guardians. They beat you with singles and doubles.
True, small ball.
Yeah. And, I mean, the Guardians win in the Guardians' ways. That's I think, the way that you can sum up the game. And having a pitcher like Clase be able to come out and pitch the 9th and the 10th and get you that 7-out save, like you mentioned, was impressive. It was really impressive.
It was huge. It was huge. I mean, they couldn't... It seemed like they could barely even touch him. It seemed like they didn't even know what was going on the entire game.
I mean, to be fair, I think Emmanuel Clase is one of the only hitters in baseball that I could not... One of the only pitchers in baseball I could not get a hit off of. So, that should say something.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, this game was just very concerning if you're a Yankee fan. The Guardians had all the momentum going into Game 3, which was at a home game now for them, as opposed to, they're away at the Bronx, but now they're coming home with all the momentum. 1-1 tie series. They have the home field advantage now. It's a 3-game series. And for the Yankees, you're feeling the exact opposite. You're feeling like, what the hell just happened? I know we did not just lose the game because of 2 blue pits.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a little bad of a spot. Matt Carpenter got a hit at-bat in this game for the Yankees, which is what a lot of Yankee fans want. He didn't produce, but Yankee fans want him to be in the starting lineup, and he hasn't, so...
But let it be known that first at-bat, his presence was felt. I mean, the pitcher, I forget who was pitching to him, but you could tell that they didn't want to go straight at him because before getting injured, he was the second best hitter in the Yankee lineup. Before getting injured, and the Guardians did not want to doubt his ability to play baseball. I mean, he is a great ball player, and they didn't want to doubt his ability to hit. Oh, my God.
Yeah, oh, wow, that is a big cricket.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Holy
there it goes.
Shit.
I want to kill it.
Welcome back to the Cricket Podcast.
Yeah, really. Oh, my God. But, yeah, Guardians take Game 2. Feeling good going into Game 3, which is in Cleveland. And, man, oh, man, was this a game. Are we gonna get it or no?
Should I?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. No, you got it. Oh, there he goes. Just leave him. Leave him.
All right.
Anyway, 1-1. Guardians are feeling good going into game. Ain't no way.
No way.
Nah, just leave him.
Okay. Yeah.
Let him be. Starts off with bottom first, Josh Naylor, a single off Luis Severino, who got into a bit of trouble. Scores a run, 1-0 Guardians. Then in the bottom of the second, Stephen Kwan would single to make it 2-0. And then Guardians would have the nice lead until the top of the third when Aaron Judge destroyed a 2-run homer.
449 feet.
Demolished his first hit of the postseason, first home run of the postseason, first RB, first anything of the postseason, except for strikeout, to make it a 2-2 ball game.
And walk.
Off Tristan McKenzie, too.
Yeah.
Oswaldo Cabrera, then in the top of the fifth, hit a 2-run homer of his own off Tristan McKenzie, and boy, was he excited. The youngster was very excited. Then up to the bottom of the sixth, Will Brennan, single. So far, Guardians have scored all 3 runs on singles. Top 7, Harrison Bader, solo shot, makes it 5-3. Ahmed Rosario, singles in the bottom of the 9th. Okay, wait. Well, let me set this up differently. Okay. So, bottom 9, you got Yankees, 5-3 ball game. Feeling good. 5-3 ball game. And you have Clark Schmidt on the mound, which a lot of Yankee fans
threw up big question marks.
Well, you had Wandy Peralta on the mound, yes. Mm-hmm. Wandy Peralta gets first out, gets Luke Maile to fly out. Miles Straw hits a double off him. Stephen Kwan hits a single. So you got first and third with 1 out. They bring in Clark Schmidt instead of Clay Holmes, who has been the Yankee closer. A lot of people questioned that in a save situation, why you don't bring in your closer that seems like that's, his job. Bring in Clark Schmidt. Clark Schmidt gives up a single to Ahmed Rosario, scores a run, makes it 5-4. Gets Jose Ramirez to not Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez hits a ground. He should have been ground out.
Yeah.
Hits a ball to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and terrible defense. Bases are loaded, and Oscar Gonzalez. Two batters later, SpongeBob hits a 2-run single to walk it off for the Guardians, and they win 6-5 to take a 2-1 series lead.
3-run ninth inning.
I mean, Yankee fan, you're in shock.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the only thing that I wrote down for the game was the Yankees just made questionable bullpen moves. We found out after the game that there was a miscommunication between Clay Holmes and Aaron Boone about what they wanted to do going into this game, and it wound up kind of biting them in the ass because I think everyone, including us, thought that Clay Holmes would come in to pitch the ninth. Instead, the Aaron Boone turned to Clark Schmidt in that situation, which honestly, looking at it under a microscope, wrong decision. But all in all, you kind of have to trust your guys and who you put out there. And I guess in that moment, Aaron Boone trusted Clark Schmidt more than Clay Holmes without any rest.
He's moving.
Is still moving?
That's crazy. No. I mean, I don't agree with the decision at all. You don't bring in Clark Schmidt. You bring in Clay Holmes. You have to. I don't care what the miscommunication is. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, especially with, and I know that it's not just Boone making the decision. There's the pitching coach and all these different guys who you might not even see in the dugout who are communicating to Boone. There had to be someone somewhere besides every fan on the face of the earth saying, bring in Clay Holmes.
I agree. It's ridiculous, the fact that...
Yeah, that it was upsetting. But, I mean, good job, Guardians. You guys win playing Guardian ball again.
Yeah, Guardian ball. I mean, they're on this big thing now about how they are small...
2015 Royals type. That's what I'm comparing them to. What?
They're on this big thing about how they like to play small ball, and it's kind of their hustling and turning singles into doubles and doubles into triples. Just it's become their team thing this postseason, even just through the whole season. But the team is really embracing it now, and it's kind of crazy. It's fun because 2 weeks before the season ended, I started to say this Guardians team is extremely fun. And I love the Guardians team because they hustle and they're pesky and they just find ways to get on base and get extra bases and score runs in different ways. But man, when you're playing it from the other perspective, is one of the most annoying things ever. It's just it's crazy. They're insane.
Yeah, it must have been annoying, but I mean that's how they're gonna win. That's the way that their lineup and their roster is
all
built.
All year. That's the way
all
they
year.
win.
Yeah, and good on them and good on Terry Francona. Obviously, an all-time manager when you look at the bigger picture, and him being able to construct a lineup and motivate these guys to go out there and not just play the regular season and run 90s, hard hit no matter where the ball goes, but to want that extra base even now. Looking back in March and April, they were doing the same thing. And they're going to keep doing it because that was what was working for them. That's why they won the Central Division. And it's disheartening if you're playing against them. And you saw it all year, especially Twins fans and White Sox fans, just getting annoyed that the Guardians play baseball differently than everybody else. But that's the beauty of baseball. You don't need to play like everybody else to win.
It's true. They have their own thing, and it's worked for them most of the year. It maybe gets bad at some points, having the lack of power. You do have power in the lineup, but
not consistent power.
Right, exactly. You're not expecting every game. But, I mean, I love this team. They got a lot of fight in them. Who would have thought that they would have taken a 2-1 series lead on these Yanks? A lot of people said didn't even give them a game or gave them one single game. They've certainly gone out and proved a lot of people wrong. And it's cool. I mean, anything can happen in the postseason, as we've seen from the other series, which we'll get into. But, I mean, anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Anyone can win on any given day.
And the Guardians are living and dying by that phrase of anything can happen, and they want to be the ones to make that anything happen. You know, they don't want to be another pushover for what has been a very consistent Yankees team for the most part over the course of the last 5 to 6 years when it comes to performance.
Years, yeah. I thought you were about to say this season.
No,
this season, not very consistent.
Well, if we're talking about the first half, arguably the most consistent team.
August.
But whatever.
August.
Doesn't matter. October baseball matters.
They were not consistent in August.
I know.
Well, they actually were consistent.
Consistently terrible.
Yeah, consistently bad. But like you said, anything happened in October. It's nothing from the regular season matters in October. All that matters is that they're playing now. And at this point, the Guardians had a 2-1 lead heading into tonight, which
through that last game,
we can get into. So, Yankees, Guardians. It's a rematch pitching matchup of Game 1. It was Garrett Cole on the mound for the Yankees and Cal Quantrill on the mound for the Guardians. Yankees come out hot. Gleyber Torres single to start off the game. Rizzo singles, drives him in. 1-0 Yankees. Top second, Harrison Bader. The exact same thing that happened in Game 1. Hits a bomb off Cal Quantrill. Gives the Yankees a 3-0 lead. 2-run homer there. Then things got a little interesting. Jose Ramirez singled. Call was upheld that he was safe. But a run scored from that. 3-1. And then you had bottom 4, Garrett Cole going back out there, of course, because it's only the 4th inning. Josh Naylor takes Garrett Cole deep. And the psycho that Josh Naylor is...
While losing still, right? Because they're still losing. Tell him what he does.
And the psycho that Josh Naylor is runs around the bases, screaming, cradling his baby the entire way through the bases, calls Cole his child, stares directly at Cole the entire time, touches home, screaming, yelling. I love the emotion. Not sure I love the disrespect shown. But then in the top of the 6th, Giancarlo Stanton hit a sac fly to score Aaron Judge, and the Yankees took a 4-2 lead. Garrett Cole, absolute dog, came back out for the 7th inning. Got 3 outs in the 7th. Finished the night with 7 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts, only 6 hits, 2 earned runs, and only 1 walk. From there, it was easy for the Yankees. Clay Holmes comes in for an inning, allows nothing, but Wandy Peralta comes in for the save, and the Yankees win 4-2 and force a Game 5.
In the Bronx.
In the Bronx. In the BX, the boogie down. I mean, Naylor. Can't do that.
So, I'm a big advocate of, let the kids play and stuff like that, but especially in a playoff atmosphere against one of the greatest pitchers still left in the postseason, you can't celebrate too early. Like, if after the game, let's just go out and say the Guardians wound up using that home run to then come back, win the game and everything, then it would have been exciting and, electric to see him, to see the video and stuff of him running around and cradling the baby and all that stuff and calling Garrett Cole son. You can't do that in the middle of the game because, one, although Garrett Cole did not see it, if he did, you don't want to fire up a pitcher as good as Garrett Cole is, and 2, it's just too much of blatant disrespect. And I'm all in for October beef, but you can't do it like that. It has to be more professionalized. You can't do it like that. That's Bush League.
Yeah, I understand it is ridiculous. You can't literally the entire way around the bases stare at Cole and the motions he was doing. It's just straight disrespect. I don't think there's a real place in the game for that, and like you said, they were down 2 at that point still.
Yeah, you can't.
I like when bat flips happen, and maybe you look at the pitcher as you're flipping the bat, flipping for a second, but staring at him the entire way around the bases and saying he's your son, he's your kid.
Can't be doing
is
it.
just not
Can't be doing
not
it.
great. And especially because they wound up losing this game. But Josh Naylor is insane.
Oh yeah,
It was a good homer. He had took him to right center.
Didn't really get the big ass launch angle, but the power 110 miles an hour off the bat, it was gonna get out.
Yeah, it got there.
It was a good home run and everything. Like a nice little bat flip or something would have been fun, and then celebrating running into the dugout. But just the whole situation in between those two things was not okay, and I don't think any player should do that. And I'm not that's not the Yankee fan in me saying it. It's just the baseball fan in me saying come on, let's be a little bit reasonable here. It was fun. It was funny, but at the same time, you got to be reasonable. You're losing.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty much general consensus that everyone thinks that was not the move. You can make a cradle motion, but not the entire way around the bases, and I think the biggest thing was staring right at Cole.
Yeah, and screaming at him.
And you know what?
Time.
You know what? Cole went 7 innings and 2 runs and got the win. Absolute dog. Absolute dog. He's got that dog in him. He's got that dog. He's got that.
He's got that Milo in him.
He's got that Milo. Hey yo.
Whoa.
But yeah, no. Cole showed his ace stuff tonight,
Yep.
and if there was anyone who doubted Garrett Cole pitching in the playoffs for the Yankees and didn't like Garrett Cole and thinks that he can't pitch in big games, big moments,
you're wrong.
He proved you wrong tonight.
Yep.
He did. He proved you wrong, and
cry about it.
He's their ace. He's insane. Who's doing that? Cal Quantrill's not doing that. He gave up 3 earned runs. Gave up 4 earned runs in Game 1. Gave up 3 earned runs in Game 4. And now they're heading back to the Bronx for Game 5. And I think the Bronx is going to be booming.
Oh, yeah.
No off day. The Yankees play better with no off days.
That's true. They're probably, packing up everything right now, getting ready to get on the flight, get home, and everything. And I can tell you that going into Yankee Stadium in the playoffs, Alex and I have been there plenty of times, of being within the confines of Yankee Stadium for playoff games. It's an atmosphere like no other. And we gotta just imagine that this is going to be one of the more hard-fought victories of the postseason so far.
Yeah, I'm very excited for tomorrow. We got, like I said, the pitching matchup: Jameson Taillon versus Aaron Savale. The Yankees have not seen Aaron Savale in this series. The Guardians have seen Jameson Taillon in a relief appearance in the 10th inning in Game 3, or Game 2 rather. My bad. In a relief appearance in the 10th inning in Game 2. J-Mo did not do great. They were hitting off him. So it is a little concerning having him come out for Game 3 if you're a Yankee fan. But at the same time, you see Aaron Savale coming out for the Guardians, and you feel a little bit better. And like you said, it's game 5 at home for J-Mo. I feel like maybe he'll have a little extra fire. And
I also think that he's been a starter his whole career. Coming out of the bullpen, probably not his best option, especially because starters, we know their game starts way before first pitch, and being a reliever, yes, you can do warm-ups and stuff, but it's not the same routine that those guys are used to with doing the long toss and stretching out your legs and running around before the game starts and stuff. All that stuff didn't happen. So if J-Mo does get stretched out properly, then I'll eat my words and say that he's going to do great. That just did not make sense at all. What I'm saying is I think J-Mo will work better if he is the true starter and not coming out of the bullpen so late into a game.
I think you might have made that more complicated than it needed to be.
I did.
J-Mo is a starter. He pitches better when he's starting rather than relieving.
Yeah.
He's not used to it. He's never had a relief appearance until that game.
Mm-hmm.
Why it was smart to bring him in, it wasn't, actually.
Robbie Ray moment.
But I do have some good news more for Yankees fans currently. So, the Aaron Savale, who is starting tomorrow, has pitched 2 games against the Yankees in 2022. The first one, he went a measly 3 innings pitched back in April, 6 earned runs in 3 innings. And then in early July, he went 6 innings pitched with 4 earned runs. So not great starts. I mean, that first start was terrible, but it was in the beginning of the season. And then when you look at J-Mo has he has one start against the Guardians this year, and he pitched 5 innings. It was April 22nd, pitched 5 innings, 1 earned run. Although he allowed 7 hits. But, I mean...
Let's see it tomorrow.
It's a toss-up. I'm very excited.
Yep.
Very excited. And as for the Yankees, hopefully Judge can string up a couple hits tomorrow if they do happen to win. Because if they win, they are going to need Aaron Judge to wake up to play in the ALCS.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that the rest of the lineup is coming alive, but Aaron Judge is a big part of the offense. Yeah. He needs to come alive, and I think he will eventually. I mean, you don't just hit 62 home runs in the regular season and nearly win a Triple Crown.
Yeah, I do also like that they moved him to second in the batting order, and they had Gleyber's leading off. I think that's good. And Gleyber got on for Judge. He led off tonight's game with a single, gave Judge an opportunity. But yeah.
Yeah. Yankees-Guardians, Game 5.
Tonight,
when you guys are watching this, it will be tonight. We're recording this the night after the Game 4 just ended.
The night of.
Yeah, the night of Game 4 ending. My apologies. And let's just see what happens.
Yeah, exciting times. So, yeah, we'll know the ALCS matchup soon. And speaking of the ALCS, let's go over to the other side.
Dun, dun, dun.
To see the Astros and the Mariners.
Mariners.
This series did not go great for the Mariners. Yordan Alvarez walked off Game 1.
I heard that he just bought a stake within the Mariners organization.
Okay. He did not. That was false information.
Well, it's part of the bit.
Yeah, but like...
but like me. It's part of the bit. Anyways,
yeah, but like...
Tell me all about the Game 2 of the Mariners-Astros series.
Okay, so Game 2. Mariners-Astros. Give me 1 second. I closed out my tab.
Oh my god. What is he doing?
Okay, Game 2 was a pitching matchup between Luis Castillo, who went out and dominated in his other appearance in the wild card round, and Framber Valdez, who's been good all year. This game was scoreless until the bottom of the second when Kyle Tucker took Luis Castillo deep to make it 1-0 Astros. Top 4, Carlos Santana, fielder's choice. Run comes home, 1-1 at that point. And then a single from Dylan Moore in that same inning would make it 2-1 Seattle. So Seattle grabs the lead, feeling good with their ace on the mound, Luis Castillo, until the bottom of the 6th when who else but your daddy, Yordan Alvarez, 2-run shot the other way to give the Astros the 3-2 lead, and Mariners fans are shaking. Yordan Alvarez has just done it again and given the Astros the lead. Off their ace, Luis Castillo, who was pitching good up until this point. In the bottom of the 8th, the Astros would go on and score another run. Luis Castillo went 7 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, 5 hits. But 3 earned runs was too many, and your daddy helped the Astros get the 4-2 victory and the 2-0 series lead. Framber Valdez went 5 2/3 innings pitched, only giving up 2 earned runs, and the Astros bullpen gave up no runs and just 1 hit in the rest of the game.
Yeah. No other way to say this than Astros kind of in their groove, right? I put down that their bullpen just dominated.
Their bullpen does dominate.
Their bullpen just continues to, I shouldn't even say surprise anymore because we know what the Astros are all about, being arguably one of the most well-rounded, complete teams in all of baseball history. But with the bullpen being as dominant as it is, and Yordan, one of the best hitters in the game right now, heating up and being able to... By the way, the home run that Yordan hit went into the Crawford boxes. He hit it opposite field. It's like
opposite field.
He is a special player, and congratulations to the Astros for having such a guy like that and being able to lock him up earlier in the season and stuff. I'm just blown away with how good these Astros can play, and I'm more blown away with how much the Mariners are able to stay in the games.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. The Mariners were staying in. They made it a close...
All the way to the wall.
Oh, that's not big. And they kept it close the entire way. Even in game 1, I mean, they had the lead. They weren't playing a bad brand of baseball. No. They were keeping up when they needed to, getting runs when they needed to.
But they couldn't come across.
They couldn't get it done because they would give up the hits when it mattered, and Yordan Alvarez owns the franchise. Your daddy takes it, and just like that, the Mariners are down 2-0 heading into Seattle. And I think maybe the fact that they were heading into Seattle might have given them a little bit more hope. But I don't know. Apparently, well, we'll see. So, that being said, then we head to Seattle. Astros up 2-0 to the Mariners. This is the first home playoff game for the Mariners in 21 years. Seattle was bumping that game. And boy, oh boy, did we see a pitching duel.
Oh, yeah.
To say the very, very, very least. This game was insane. You got your normal game. I don't have any scoring updates because this game was scoreless through 9 innings. George Kirby went 7 innings, no runs, obviously. Andres Munoz went a run. Diego went an inning, no runs. Diego Castilla, Brash, Seawald, Eric Swanson. Let's just say we came all the way to the 18th inning. 18 innings. 2 baseball games they played in Seattle. Seattle did get 2 games.
They did get their 2 games.
2 baseball games were played in Seattle on the same day. And in the top of the 18th inning, Jeremy Pena took Penn Murphy.
Who?
Deep.
that gotta be a random guy from the crowd. I have never heard that man's name before in my life.
Deep to give the Astros a 1-0 lead, and Framber, I apologize, and Luis Garcia came out of the bullpen and pitched 5 innings and got the win, and the Astros win 1-0 and sweep the Mariners and sweep their way to their 6th straight American League Championship Series.
See, if I told Astros fans that McCullers and Luis Garcia would both get a full, starter type of outing, you would think that they would have been like, okay, well, we dropped 1 game to Seattle, no big deal. 2 starters pitched 2 starter workloads in game 3. Mind-boggling. Luis Garcia was absolutely lights out. However, of course, he is the world's slowest pitcher with his over-the-top a little bit, wind-up and stuff. But, I mean, good for him for being able to go 5 innings, 6 strikeouts, and only 2 hits. That's just impressive. And just one thing to note, longest 0-0 game in playoff baseball history. Congratulations. And I think the best way to describe this game was that the Mariners were outmatched when they were in the box, and the Astros were sluggish. The Astros just, they could have done it if they put forth effort earlier in the game, and they just didn't.
Well.
Whereas the Mariners just were outmatched.
Are you implying that the Astros weren't trying the first half of the game?
I'm not saying that they weren't. First half. The first 17 innings of the game. But I'm not saying that they weren't trying. I'm just saying that I think that they had more opportunities that they just could not convert on.
Right. But they were still trying to get the
well, yes, of course. Yeah. It's baseball.
Yeah, no, I do agree that, teams, they had a few chances. I mean, they didn't have an overwhelming amount of chances, but the fact that this game ended 1-0 after all that is absolutely hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
The people in Seattle sitting there, coming to their first playoff game in 21 years, have to sit through a 6-hour, 22-minute game.
All right, but they did get 2 7-inning stretches.
Just to lose 1-0.
Just to lose.
They did get 2 7-inning stretches. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they did.
Not too often you see that. Not too often you see some guys get 8 at-bats in the same game but the score is 0-0. You don't. How many times do you think you've seen a player get 8 at bats in a game, but only 1 run scored in the entire game?
This might be part of that history. It's never happened
Like
before.
that. It's insane.
That's insane. I mean, good on the Mariners for being able to suppress some guys when it came to this final game. Jordan went 0 for 7. Altuve went 0 for 7. Bregman went 3 for 8, which...
That's not suppressing.
Yeah, not suppressing at all, but good on him.
Pena went 1 for 8. He just
Pena
got the one homer. But yeah, Bregman went 3 for 8, like you said. Gurriel went 3 for 8. Tucker went 2 for 7. Everyone else, and even on the Mariners side, just shut down.
Yeah.
They forgot how to play baseball for 17 innings. And the Mariners forgot for 18 innings how to play baseball. But the Astros win, and that's all that matters. And I said it before. It's the Astros till it's not.
Yep. The American League will always run through Houston. It feels like 6 straight American League Championship Series appearance for the Houston Astros.
Not a dynasty.
Gotta respect their game. You can't not respect.
Yeah, not a dynasty though.
Not a dynasty.
I've heard people say dynasty.
Not
They've won 1 championship, and it was a very tainted championship.
Very
so
tainted.
I don't know if I'd call that a dynasty necessarily.
Yeah, that's like calling the Dodgers a dynasty.
Right. Yeah, they can't even win their season. But yeah, Astros. Who would have thought? My only concern, if I'm an Astros fan, you didn't really dominate the series.
Yeah, you looked very, very different than what we've seen out of them all year, especially playing a in-division rival at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the Mariners, let's be honest, they were playing very good baseball.
Yeah.
Wild card, they were playing a very good brand of baseball. So I guess there is that partly, but if you're the Astros, you went, you're going to the championship series, yes, but you just went 18 innings with scoring 1 run.
Yeah.
If you told an Astros fan heading into Game 3, hey, you're about to go 18 innings and only score 1 run, you're like, wow, we're going to a Game 5.
Yeah.
But no, 18 innings, 1 run.
I think
heading to the championship series.
This was very off-brand. This series was very off-brand for the Astros because usually we see the Astros as guys who play above their opponent. And this time I feel like they kind of played to their opponents and sort of at the same level when we know for a fact that these Astros are very, very strong and very, very powerful and could very easily win a game in the first inning, you know?
Oh, yeah, they could take out any team.
Like, we know that the Mariners are, like, right here, right? They're not low, they're not at the very top, whereas we expect the Astros to be up here, marginally higher, whereas the Astros played maybe 1 peg above for the entire series. I mean, Mariners fans, hang your hat on the fact that this series could have went either way off of 10 pitches.
Had it not been for a couple of mistakes, this series could have gone either way, yes.
Yeah.
They're,
crazy.
Like, bringing in Robbie Ray in the first game was a mistake.
Scott Service moment.
Pitching to Jordan in the second game was a mistake.
Terrible. With the base open.
And then Game 3, score a fucking run.
Yeah.
That's a mistake.
I feel like it would be, like, obviously, I don't think either one of us is going to make it to the lead, but playing in front of a home crowd like Seattle must be amazing. And with how loud they were, even through the TV broadcast, you could hear how energetic they were, and to think that they couldn't get it done is heartbreaking for Mariners fans. But hang your hat high, Mariners fan, keep your head up, because you can only go up. You can only go up.
Well, they could go down.
Okay, I'm trying to be positive here.
They could go down.
You guys locked up J-Rod.
That's good.
Locked up Castillo. I mean, you guys didn't have Jesse Winker this whole series, who could have been a difference maker, especially when it came to runners in scoring position.
That's true. That did suck. That they didn't have Winker.
Yeah.
It would have been cool to see him in the playoffs. I love Jesse Winker.
Yeah, fun guy.
But yeah, Astros win 1-0 in 18 innings, 2 baseball games, and
they swept.
They sweep. They got the brooms out, beat up on the Mariners. Not really, but beat up on the Mariners in hindsight. Right. And yeah, they are headed to the championship series.
Okay.
Shall we move over to the NL?
To the National League.
In the National League.
Where are we starting? Come on.
Well, let's start in San Diego. Let's start in LA.
Ooh.
So, game 1 of the Dodgers-Padres series, the Dodgers squeaked out a win 5-3. Playoff Kershaw came in game 2. And Clayton Kershaw has a 4.22 ERA in the playoffs. His career ERA is 2.48, so he's not great in the playoffs. We know this.
We know that very well.
However, this game, it seemed to be more of Manny Machado killing him. Manny Machado, solo homer in the first inning, gives the Padres a 1-0 lead. Doubled in the third, which tied the game at that point. Freeman homered. Trey Turner homered for the Dodgers off of Yu Darvish, who also notoriously is not good in the playoffs. And Jurickson Profar singled in the 6th inning to break a 3-3 tie, made it 4-3. Jake Cronenworth puts the nail in the coffin with a solo home run in the 8th, makes it 5-3. And the Padres bullpen locked it down after only 5 innings from Darvish, and they get the win in game 2 and tie the series at 1 apiece. Good game.
Great game. I mean, this is one of those games where if it were a game 5, you would call it a classic. Like,
oh yeah,
it felt so close, razor thin.
Well,
good job for keeping it together, Padres. I genuinely thought that one of the problems with the Padres going into this postseason was their bullpen, and they have proven me more than wrong. They really have, and I think game 1 showed it.
Well, their bullpen, I'll say it after we get to the last game of this series, their bullpen has been very, very good this series, and I think it was one of the biggest difference makers in how they played this series. I would just like to point out in this game too, Brusdar Graterol and Cody Bellinger made 2 very, very good plays. Brusdar Graterol turned into Nolan Arenado for a minute and threw a ball home.
Was it? Oh, that was my fault.
And threw a ball home to get a runner out. Kept a run from scoring. Obviously, it didn't matter in the end. They still lost. But good play. Cody Bellinger ran across the ball, caught it like over the shoulder-ish. Good defense, but you lost the game, so it doesn't really matter. I would like to say that Josh Hader closed out this game. He's back. He is back. Josh Hader is Milwaukee Josh Hader. He's scary Josh Hader. He's scary Josh Hader again.
Oh, yeah. And that, if you're the Padres, you are thanking your lucky stars that the trade that you guys made at the deadline that everyone called the Brewers stupid and ridiculous, and then when you saw how he came out and started pitching in the regular season, you were like, oh my god, the Brewers knew something that the Padres didn't about this guy. Good to see him take that full 180 and come back to the guy that the Padres did go out and get, because he is a very, very crucial player in not only this series, but if they want to go even further than where they are now.
Yeah, no, they're going to need him to stay as good as he's been. They need him to be lights out, along with their entire bullpen heading into, I guess, the rest of the series and, the NLCS. Going into Game 3, the Padres play their first home playoff game in San Diego since 2006. The crowd was very excited in San Diego. The Padres scored in the bottom of the first off a Jake Cronenworth single, and a Trent Grisham homer in the 4th made it 2-0. And that's pretty much the lunk of the scoring for the game. The only other score was Mookie Betts' sac fly. Was the only run for the Dodgers.
Weren't the bases loaded with that sac fly to think that that's all that the Dodgers were able to push across with that, getting out of that?
Both teams had more opportunities to score, and they didn't capitalize. It was both teams. This game ended at 2-1. The Padres took the game. Hader got the save again. Blake Snell started for the Padres, went 5 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run. 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, so it's not a terrible start from Snell. The Padres bullpen is It's the storyline of the series is the Padres bullpen.
Yeah.
Because what was thought to be maybe a possible weakness. Weakness, heading into the series was the exact opposite. Josh Hader is dangerous. He's dominant.
He is him.
The headlines of their bullpen: Nick Martinez, Luis Garcia, Robert Suarez, obviously Josh Hader are like the headlines for that bullpen. And the Padres took a 2-1 series lead, and one game away from killing the Dodgers season, 113 wins, and upsetting them to go to the NLCS, which moves us into Game 4. Game number 4 in San Diego. It was the pitching matchup in this one was Joe Musgrove against Tyler Anderson. Joe Musgrove his last outing was against the Mets in the wild card round when Buck Showalter thought he was cheating. Eliminated the Mets, big team. The Dodgers jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the third inning when Freddie Freeman hit a 2-run double. Will Smith hit a sac fly in the 7th, which was the next score for the Dodgers. And they had a 3-0 lead heading into the bottom of the 7th inning until the Padres exploded in the 7th inning for 5 runs. A single by Austin Nola, a double by Ha-Seong Kim, a single by Juan Soto, a single by Jay Cronenworth. They score 5 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning to take a 5-3 lead. And the Padres bullpen once again locks it down. And the Padres win 5-3 and eliminate the big bad Dodgers in just 4 games to advance to their first NLCS since 1998. The upsets.
Clap it up.
Upsets. Love it.
So, let's just point out really quick. National League Championship Series. If you would have told me back in April, after April 1st, opening day, that the Padres and the Phillies would be competing for a chance to go to the World Series, I would have called you nuts. And that has come to fruition. The 5 and 6 seeds of the National League. The 5 and 6 seeds.
Yeah, wild card team.
In the expansion of the playoffs, we get a 5 and 6 matchup going into the National League Championship Series. And I think there's a case to be made that letting them heat up in the wild card round kind of benefited them.
Yeah, we did see that. It was evident in the Phillies-Braves series that we're going to talk about in a few. It seemed like the teams that played in the wild card were all warmed up. It was just a nice little warm-up, few games. It kept them rolling heading into the division series, and I think it just showed that anything can happen. Yes, a wild card game, as what it used to be, can give you momentum, but not as much as a 3-game series when the other team has that many days off. Just watching you play. It was crazy. It really was. It was truly crazy. No one, I think, well, not to say no one didn't expect. We both got it wrong. We both thought the Dodgers were winning this one in 5. Come to see the Padres winning it in 4.
I'm okay with getting it wrong.
I don't think I would have guessed that.
I'm okay with getting it wrong.
I'm just so impressed with the Padres bullpen. In this series, the Padres bullpen, 1 run allowed all series. 16 innings pitched for the Padres bullpen in these 4 games. And they only allowed 6 hits all series. And 4 were in game 2.
Wow.
So in games 1, 3, and 4, they allowed 2 hits.
Yeah. And
they were shut down. They were lights out.
They certainly were. Just a couple of notes. In games 2, 3, and 4, the Dodgers went 2 for 20 with runners in scoring position, and both of those, the only 2 times that they were able to convert was in game 3. Dodgers lineup also, we saw that, yes, you can have the names, you can have the stars, but you need your entire lineup to produce, and the Padres showed them what that looked like with the 7, 8, and 9 hitters of the Padres collectively going 3 for 9 with a walk each in the elimination game. Whereas the bottom of the Dodgers lineup just did absolutely nothing. We had 4 for 1, 0 for 3, and 0 for 4. You can't... You can't fizzle out like that.
Well, it was more about just the Padres lineup. Everyone was clicking.
Everyone was clicking. I think playing at home for the Padres, huge. Huge. I think that having the crowd behind you, especially in that last game, Game 4, where the rain was coming down and everyone was like, oh my God, are they going to put the tarp on the field and postpone the game for a little while? Well, not postpone it, but are they going to push back the game a little bit? But the entirety of the Padres nation sitting in their seats, standing, I should say, at their seats in the pouring rain, singing any song that came on through all the loudspeakers throughout the stadium. Just that's got to give you energy. And the Padres were able to ride that into a divisional series win over the World Series favorites.
Yeah, 100% the World Series favorites, yeah. 113 win Dodgers, when you look at it from the other side of the spectrum, wow, what a disappointing end to the season. You dominate this Padres team all regular season, come to get destroyed in the first round of your playoffs. I don't think any Dodgers fan expected that, especially Dave Roberts, who said in the beginning of the season that the Dodgers will win the World Series, put it on record. He was wrong. Dodgers become the first 110-plus win team to not make the championship series, which is crazy.
History.
It's almost shocking. Like, how do you let that happen?
You lose.
Yeah,
you don't score more runs than your opponent.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I get that some people don't understand that entirely.
Right. I'm impressed that you were able to figure that
comprehend that one. I know.
Yeah.
It took me like a good 2 days to figure that one out.
Nice. But no, it's insane. And I'm gonna be honest, I loved it.
Oh yeah.
I loved it. I mean, in San Diego, it's hard. And I'm gonna say the same thing for this Phillies series we're about to talk about. Just that these teams haven't seen their team play in a playoff game at home in so long, and the crowd is just so electric, and it's hard not to root for them. Yeah. No matter who they're playing, no matter what players you like, no matter what teams you like, it's crazy. It's like that is an insane atmosphere, and the Dodgers get it done. Not the Dodgers, the Padres get it done. Crazy times. So therefore, the Padres are moving to the NLCS, and they knew who they were playing because the prior series ended. Let's talk about Phillies Braves. Braves are the defending champions playing the underdog Phillies, who just swept the Cardinals out of the playoffs. Game 1 we talked about. The Phillies won 7-6 in a game that was close towards the end, but like we said, did not look great for Braves fans. Game 2 was a battle between Kyle Wright and Zach Wheeler. Both men went 6 innings pitched. The only difference is that Zach Wheeler exploded in the 6th inning, gave up 3 earned runs. Kyle Wright had an amazing outing, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits only, 6 strikeouts. The Braves bullpen was shut down this game, and those 3 runs, which were scored off just singles, all 3 singles, were the only runs of the game, and the Braves took Game 2 3-0. After this game, I feel like Braves fans probably were very
comfortable,
relieved. I wouldn't say comfortable, though. Relieved. They would have wanted to score more runs, especially off the Phillies bullpen. But at least they knew it's an even series now. And they're heading into Philly, yes, but they're heading in with a win, and they just shut down a lineup and this lineup, when it gets shut down, could mean very, very bad things. Because it could mean they're going to get shut down the next day, and the next day, and the next day. They are the streakiest team in baseball. That is a fact. So when you see them do that bad, you just hope that they're about to ride a cold streak.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Braves the Braves pitching staff did the Braves pitching staff thing that kind of everyone expected. That everyone has seen them do and everyone has come to expect from them all season in this game. But only scoring 3 runs in 1 inning is not good playoff baseball, especially when you're clearly on paper and everyone has kind of written you off as the better team. You can't only produce in 1 run in 1 inning for 3 runs. You need to do something special. And I understand that all of the 3 runs came with 2 outs. Even then, like, they had opportunities at other points in the game, and I get that it's Zach Wheeler, but you still have to capitalize. You just still have to capitalize.
Yeah. No, like you said, Philadelphia, yes. 3 runs, 1 inning. Yep. I think they might have thought just bounce back next day in Philly, shut them down, quiet the crowd. However, it was quite the opposite.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about it.
Phillies' first home playoff game since 2011. Phillies fans were hyped. The crowd was wild. They all had rally towels. Just a sea of red towels waving in Philadelphia. Spencer Strider against Aaron Nola for this game. And all was good for the Braves through 2 innings. And then Spencer Strider comes out in the 3rd. A Bryson Stott double allows 1 run. So it's 1-0 Phillies. And yes, just 1-0. Just one run.
Salvageable.
They weren't feeling too bad.
Salvageable.
Then, a few batters later, Rhys Hoskins comes up and hits an absolute bomb on the first pitch off Strider, throws the bat down, insane moment, crowd's going wild. Phillies take a 4-0 lead, and if you think that was it, just after, Bryce Harper hits a 2-run bomb to give the Phillies a 6-0 lead, same inning. So, Strider gets tagged for 5 earned runs. He came out of the game after just 2 1/3 innings pitched. The newly extended buyout arb, Spencer Strider gives up that many runs in his first career playoff start. The Braves would get 1 run in the 6th inning, but it didn't matter. Bryce Harper doubles, scores another run. Nick Castellanos singles, scores 2 in the 7th. I mean, Phillies destroyed the Braves in this one, and they took Game 3 9-1.
Yeah.
Nola went 6 innings pitched, no earned runs, 1 run, no earned, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks. I mean, Phillies bullpen, Alvarado, Hand, and Brogdon, no runs collectively. Not a good night for the Braves.
Yeah.
Not a good day.
Not a good day.
The Phillies came into their home and they handed the Braves' ass to them.
I mean, good on the Phillies, but at the same time, Braves, you need to. I think even I'll say it. I'll admit it. That even when it was 6-0 and Strider was coming off the mound, I thought that if the Braves bullpen could just lock it down, kind of shut everything down, there's a chance that the offense comes alive. But I mean, you give up the extra 3 runs to arguably the 2 hottest hitters in the Phillies lineup in the postseason so far, and you kind of just they threw in the towel of like, hey, they knew that they were going to lose this game type of thing. They played with no effort, especially for a team that had such high expectations going into this year. You can't tap out early.
Yeah, and I mean the Phillies. Well, another thing that I thought was bad with the Braves is the bottom of their lineup just did not produce. The top of their lineup was fine pretty much all series. I mean, Dansby Swanson may be the exception. Dansby Swanson did not play great in this series. Acuna did fine. He was getting hits every game.
Yeah.
He did have a little defensive mishaps. Olsen hit a couple homers, double. Like, Olsen was doing fine. Travis Darnell was doing very good. Austin Riley was doing terrible. And then just everyone down from their second hitter, fourth hitter, and 6, 7, 8, 9. No matter who it was, no matter what substitutions they may have made, terrible. Inexcusably terrible.
Yeah.
And I think was the difference. Their entire lineup being able to produce. When you got only 3 guys in your lineup getting hits, you're not going to win a game.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. Big thing that at least I saw out of Braves fans was Eddie Rosario. Just he caught lightning in a bottle last year, but I think that I'm kind of after this game I did agree with Braves fans that he should not have been starting. It's very, very obvious that what he was able to do at the plate last season is obviously not there anymore for whatever reason. Maybe it's a mechanical issue or it's something else that we don't know about, but he could not He literally, like, I don't think that he could have touched the ball.
It's been all season. It's not like he's
No, I know.
It's not like he's going to come in the playoffs and.
But you're looking at it under a microscope of a more important game where last season we saw him become one of the hottest hitters in baseball. And you kind of you don't expect him to do that again, but you expect him to at least do something, and he has done nothing.
He did nothing all year, so.
Yeah. I know, it's just...
I don't think they were expecting him to do anything in the playoffs.
I'm just telling you what I saw.
I know, I'm just saying I don't think they expected him to do anything. He wasn't good. At least last year when they got him from the trade, he was good heading into the playoffs. He was just not good this year. I don't think that has anything to do with it. No. I think the entire lineup was terrible.
Yeah, the entire lineup gave up.
Yeah, no, it was just a very bad game, and then the Phillies dominated. And it was the third... I'd argue game one of the series, the Phillies did kind of still dominate. So I'd say it was the third game this postseason up to this game that they dominated and won.
Yeah, and I'm just going to go out there and say it, that these National League games are so much more fun to watch with a DH.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Rather than...
I don't want to watch a pitcher.
Yeah, the pitcher hit. Just so much more fun. And I think, obviously, the Braves now know that they have some... serious problems that they need to address going into the offseason.
Yeah, no, serious problems.
Serious problems. You want to hit the last game?
Yeah, we'll hit the last game. This was the doomsday for the Braves, the former champions. We haven't had a repeat world champion since, I believe, 2000.
Yep. The repeat Yankees.
So, Phillies-Braves heading into Game 4. Phillies are up 2-1 in the series. Pitching matchup, you got Charlie Morton against Noah Syndergaard, and Phillies come out doing their thing. Brandon Marsh in the second inning, 3-run bomb off Charlie Morton makes it 3-0 Phillies, and Braves fans are shaking in their boots. Braves themselves are shaking in their boots. Braves are going to run back on an Orlando Arcia solo homer, but the Phillies did not care, as JT Realmuto becomes the first catcher in baseball history to hit an inside-the-park home run in the playoffs. Electric moment, ball bounces off the wall.
Acuna not trying.
Just puts on the wheels. Yeah, no one's trying. It's just bad Phillies team. Good job, JT Realmuto.
Good job, JT. More history.
History. Matt Olson homered to make it a 2-run game in the top of the fourth. It was 4-2 at that point. But then Ronald Acuna Jr. just not having a good day in right field. Rhys Hoskins singled on a fly ball to Acuna. He misplays it. Scores another run, 5-2 at that point. JT Realmuto hit another single, made it 6-2. Just burying the Braves. Bryce Harper single, 7-2. Just at this point, they're laying them in the coffin. Darno homered, solo homer. Like I said, Darno did fine during the series. Nothing was his fault. Solo homer made it 7-3. Bryce Harper puts the nail in the coffin, shoves it in, and buries it himself. Solo homer in the 8th to make it 8-3.
Wow.
Crazy. Sir Anthony Dominguez comes in, gets the save. Not necessarily a save, but kills him. Yeah, it does. He hit him with the pillow, and the Phillies go to the NLCS.
So, let's just cover one thing up. This last game, Braves just did not want it. They did not care. It was upsetting. Watching the game, the Braves lineup, just their 1 through 9 guys, they all went to the plate living and dying by let's hit a home run type of thing. And watching that is just so demoralizing as a baseball fan in that situation, because it's like you want to see guys be able to produce. Like the Phillies lineup, sure, they hit homers, and we know that for a fact. But we also watch them string together singles, doubles, and we're not going to try to stretch that into a double because the next guy we're going to trust him. Like, just that next man up mentality from the Phillies was electric, and I think that really pushed them over into winning the series.
Yeah, I love it. I was going to say the same thing. I mean, the Phillies, for a team that relied on the home run ball so much this season, and they were a power team only, they found a way to get runs that wasn't just home runs, and I think it was very refreshing to see a power team like that have that next man up mentality, just get on base and trust the next guy to do their thing. And it worked all series. I mean, they did incredible all series at just scoring runs in different ways. I mean, Jesus, JT Realmuto, inside the park home run? What? Who had that on their bingo card?
Certainly not. No, I did not.
I just thought it was really refreshing for the Phillies. This team is special. The lowest amount of wins in the playoffs this year.
Everyone wrote them off before the wild card series even started.
Going to the... You hear that?
What?
Going to the NLCS against the Padres, which, interesting storyline here. In maybe June, the Phillies played the Brewers in just a normal regular season game. And the bottom of the ninth, I keep saying Padres. Brewers were up. Phillies hit 2 home runs off Josh Hader and win that game. And at the end of the season, they beat Milwaukee into the playoffs by 1 game. Had they been tied, the Phillies would not have won the tiebreaker. They would have lost and not even been in these playoffs. And now they're playing Josh Hader's new team.
Yeah, in the National League Championship Series, nonetheless.
Yeah, no. You said earlier, who would have told you at the beginning of the season, Padres, Phillies, NLCS?
Yeah, if you would have told me that, Manny Machado and the Padres, when Manny Machado signed there, everyone was like, oh my God, he's a nutcase. Like, what is he doing? He obviously just chased whatever money he could get. He doesn't care about winning. And Bryce Harper, when he signed with the Phillies, everyone was like, he took too much money. They can't really build around him. And look at this. It's come full circle, and they are now the 2 final teams standing in the National League. Congratulations to both franchises.
Phillies are giving a very 2019 Nationals vibe.
Yeah.
Wild card written off. They're doing the damn thing.
I mean, the last team to get in is just seeing them go this far. It should be a reason as to why, teams like the Orioles and any other team that just missed, teams like the Brewers, should want to continue to try to build up upon what they have.
Yeah, because once the playoff hit, regular season doesn't matter.
Everyone is 0-0.
Yeah, and like we said, the former world champs are out. And we have an interesting NLCS. I'm very excited. We'll preview this matchup more in our preview episode.
Sometime this week.
But yeah, for now, it's crazy. It is. It's really crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited.
And what's crazy is that these 2 teams, the Padres and the Phillies, are, like I've said a million times now, it feels like the 5 and 6 seeds. They are also in a state that I would just call no one wants to just say that they're happy to be there. Like, everyone is just like, okay, yeah, they're happy that they made it past the wild card round for both teams. Oh, okay, yeah, cool. They're going to win a couple of games in the divisional series. And now they're laying it down. I mean, the Padres and the Phillies, they want it more than any other team, and that's why they're out. They came out up top in their respective brackets.
It's true. It's very exciting. And we'll talk about that more next episode. I think that's it for this episode.
It is.
I would like to thank everyone for watching. And we're going to give our episode-ly shout-out to Jack Hadfield.
Jack.
Love that guy.
Good job, Jack.
Love that. Yeah, good job at living,
Yeah. And being a Blue Jays fan.
And being, our honorary, our Blue Jays fan, Jack. That'll be it for this episode of the Normal Baseball Podcast. I'm Alex. That's Lewis. And we say thank you. Well, let's hit him with the...
Oh, okay.
Peace.